I'm excited to be here today. So just want to thank you guys for the opportunity to present, and what a joy to go right after Avesita and Alyssa, who are spearheading such incredible work in the food recovery space in their city. So I'm really grateful to be here today. So once again, hello everyone, my name is Geertje and I'm the program director of the Wasted Food Prevention Program at the San Diego Food System Alliance. And today I'll be sharing with you all about San Diego County Food Vision 2030 and highlighting some of the key strategies we found and identified for scaling up food waste prevention, recovery, and recycling initiatives in the region. So a little bit about the San Diego Food System Alliance. We're a nonprofit organization, and our mission is to cultivate a healthy, sustainable, and just food system in San Diego County. So we do work across all aspects of the food system. We try to work really broadly throughout the entire county as well to really support this mission. So what exactly is San Diego County Food Vision 2030? I hope that some of you guys on the call have heard about it. It is a strategic plan and movement for transforming our food system over the next 10 years. So over the last 2.5 years now, we have been very much in the development phase of the vision. And just last summer, we finally launched the actual plan, the strategic plan and report. So there are many elements to the vision. One of them is this large report that I mentioned, and I'll share a little bit more about kind of the framework that we have and what's included in the report. We also have an interactive data dashboard where we have identified different data indicators that we'll be tracking over the next 10 years to be able to measure our progress toward the vision. And then finally, really the vision is extremely centered on community input and community, elevating community stories. So we also have lots of different kind of community engagement methods and stories on our website as well. So just wanted to share a little bit more about the approach of how we developed the vision. We really wanted to ensure that we consulted both with experts, food system leaders and stakeholders. Several of you guys on the call were interviewed as a part of this process. So we really wanted to ensure we got a lot of good information from the leaders and the experts about what do they want to see in terms of changes or strategies for ensuring that we're moving towards a more sustainable food system in the next 10 years. So we got a lot of that expert input and we're able to distill those findings down into kind of specific strategies and high leverage opportunities. But we also wanted to make sure that we got community input and feedback. So we did surveying across the entire region. We also worked with several local community partners in historically underrepresented communities. So we developed relationships with our Indigenous community, for example, communities down in South Bay and Northeast County, to really make sure that we centered the voices of those that sometimes get left out of these conversations. So with all of that input, we developed a framework for Food Vision 2030 that includes 3 goals and 10 objectives. So these goals are just kind of these kind of common threads that we really saw and identified as very high priority throughout all of these conversations that we were having, which is that we need to ensure our food system in San Diego County is cultivating justice, building resilience, and fighting climate change. And then in terms of these 10 objectives, these are kind of more specific topical areas of focus that is kind of serving as the organization for the vision. So within each of the objectives, there's a number of challenges that we identified. We did a SWOT analysis within each objective, and we've also identified key high leverage strategies for the next 10 years. So today I'm going to be diving into that objective number 7, scaling up food waste prevention, recovery, and recycling initiatives, and just sharing some of our findings. I'll start with a little context setting about why food waste. I'll go quickly here because I'm sure this is probably common information for all of you. But obviously, food waste represents the waste of so many resources: water, cropland, landfill space, etc. We know that reducing food waste is a top strategy for decreasing greenhouse gas emissions. And this is also why the state of California has implemented SB 1383. And Avesita just shared, a lot of their strategies that they're putting in place for ensuring they meet the SB 1383 food recovery requirements. So obviously there's a lot of momentum around this space and a lot of opportunity for collective impact and collective movement moving forward. So let's dive into some of the Objective 7 findings. I'm going to start off with some data that I thought would be interesting for this group to see and share. And this is all mostly publicly available data that we have identified as indicators that we want to track for measuring our progress moving forward. So on this slide, we're going to start at the very high level of the state of California, looking at the different counties and specifically Southern California counties and how much waste is sent to landfill. So you'll see kind of timeline on the bottom here. The maroon chunk represents all other counties except Southern California. And then we have all of our Southern California counties in the kind of colored strips below. So you'll see here that Southern California is responsible for the majority of landfill waste in the state, about 55%. Maybe not a surprise for some of you. You know, we maybe have a different culture here in this region or lack of some infrastructure, but just a trend to highlight. And another, you know, really discouraging fact that this graph shows is an increase in waste sent to landfill over the last 10 years. So obviously everyone on this call, we're all working to turn that curve around and move towards a decrease in that. But this is publicly available data from CalRecycle that we're tracking that we want to ensure we keep tabs on to make sure that we do end up turning that curve downward. We also wanted to see what did it look like in terms of how much food waste is actually landfilled in San Diego County. So we got this data from the County of San Diego. This is the latest available data, which represents 2018. And all in all, we found that over 550,000 tons of food waste are landfilled in the region. And it is broken down here by municipality. I will say there's no real surprises there. It really correlates with population size. But I really just want to focus on that 550,000 tons number. That is a lot of food waste. And we know that there are so many other uses for that. And also that so much of that could be prevented from going to landfill. So just incredible opportunity to scale up these, you know, prevention, recovery, recycling solutions in the region. This next slide here is very specific to San Diego County and showing our organics recycling capacity gap. So we do have some available capacity in the region for organics recycling, and this organics recycling includes food waste, but also other organic waste. So thinking about yard waste, for example. So you'll see that green there of what's available. The yellow is the estimated disposal. And so in red, we have the net deficit. So it's clear that we are lacking sufficient organic waste recycling capacity in the region. This is, you know, really underscores the need for recycling solutions at all scales, including community composting, backyard composting, et cetera. So again, this is another indicator that we are tracking over time. So aside from the data and research piece, I wanted to share just very high level here some of the core challenges that were elevated through the research and interviews, as well as the key strategies. And I'm not going to read through all of them. I'll let you guys read through them one by one. I'll focus a little bit more here on talking about the key strategies. So one thing that came up was to coordinate efforts across food waste prevention, recovery, and recycling actors. And I think another huge opportunity is to, you know, what we're doing here today is being able to talk about food waste prevention in the context of other zero waste movements as well. So, you know, just to that effect of really being grateful for the organizers for putting this event together. That's clearly a need that was identified across the board of creating more spaces like this for networking and collaboration. Another really big opportunity that was identified was really focusing on minimizing food waste, both at the household level and at the business level. So for example, providing technical assistance to businesses or farmers to help them figure out how to reduce food waste. Another big piece here is scaling up food recovery logistics. And Avesita and Alyssa shared, you know, so much detail about the need for that in their city. So we know there's so much great work happening on the ground, but we really need to ramp up logistics, infrastructure, et cetera, to meet those SB 1383 goals. And the last two strategies here are supporting our upcycling entrepreneurs. I'll give some shout outs to some great businesses in the region that have really innovative products that upcycle food waste. So Misadventure Vodka makes food waste out of baked goods. We've got a new one called Kismet Refinery that makes vinegars out of different kind of produce. So lots of great businesses there. And then of course, this last piece, which I already mentioned in terms of increasing food waste recycling efforts. So I want to mention that, there's so much movement already on all of these things. So the Food Vision Initiative is really just kind of distilling the information down and capturing everything that all these different stakeholders have said into one document, into one framework, and into one plan to make sure that we're moving together towards a collective vision with common strategies and common goals. So I'll wrap it up here with my last slide. So to that effect, we are, the Alliance is committed to continuing to steward that movement. We will be launching a engagement platform, a virtual space for people to network. We're going to be hosting working group sessions, things of that nature. And we also have an annual gathering that we host as well. So if any of this sounds like something you want to kind of get involved in, I encourage you to visit our website and sign up for our newsletter. So thanks again.